I thought it was a great speech. I've been listening to these inaugural addresses since 1961, John F. Kennedy, Ask Not. I thought this was the best inaugural address I ever heard. Obviously, a lot of this event today, a lot of the president's speech was colored by the emotion of the fact that exactly 2 weeks ago, 14 days ago, there was a mob of thugs, of insurrectionists, of domestic terrorists on the inaugural stand. And Joe Biden was saying that democracy prevailed. We were able to get through that. And he was talking about how we need to get through that in the future if we are going to be a united country. He talked about white supremacy, domestic terrorism. He said we must confront it. We will defeat it. My whole soul is in this, uniting our people. You know, I think it was less an inaugural address and more part sermon, part pep talk, talking directly to the American people, saying, hear me out. We have a right to dissent peacefully, but our disagreement must not lead to disunion. It was a call to our better angels, a call saying, look, we've got tremendous challenges, COVID, the economy, racial injustice, climate change, but there's nothing we can't do if we come together. And there's one other thing he said that I think especially us in the media must note. He said that there is truth and there are lies, lies that are told for power and lies that are told for profit. And I think that it was a call to all of us, whether it's us on the air, on cable or broadcast, whether it's us on social media, on our Twitter accounts, understanding that we have to deal from facts, from the truth, to hear each other out, as he said, a right to disagree, but not a right to violence. This is the easy part, as has been suggested. Now he's got to turn words, rhetoric into reality and action, but I thought it was a great start.
Mr. President! Mr. President, come on over! Mr. President, you've been aspiring to this office for your whole career. What does this moment feel as you're about to walk into the West Wing? Do you have a message for President Trump, sir?
Her. This is history that we're watching. Let's scratch that. This is her story that we're watching, and she's doing it with so much grace. Today is just an awesome day, and I hope and I know my wife is sitting at home watching with our two girls, bawling at the history that's being made with Kamala Debbie Harris.
But there was another speech in there in which he was talking about things like people telling lies for power and profit. He's talking about nativism, white supremacy. I think a lot of people sitting, I mean, let's face it, half the country, nearly half the country did vote for Donald Trump. And was at that point President Biden talking about Donald J. Trump, or is he talking about the people who voted for Trump? Because I think a lot of them would be entitled to sit out there and say, I'm not that person. And if he is trying to reconcile with the country, it's one thing for him to be giving his inaugural speech about his grievances with Donald J. Trump. But a lot of people out there who supported Trump and his policies did not agree with some of those ideas. And so they might be asking, why is he bringing up nativism and fear and telling lies for power and profit in the middle of an inaugural speech?
I think it's a great point that you bring up, Dan. He talked about nativism, racism, and fear. And, you know, it kind of fits into the litany of words that we've heard about the deplorables, about clinging to guns and religion, about cults and people need to be deprogrammed. And although, you know, there was a lot of outreach in that speech, there was not a line that he could have had in there that might have said, you know, you voted for President Trump, and, you know, I hear you.
We're also seeing an administration that is not Ivy League. It is Howard University. It's state school in Delaware. It's a stepmom. You know, these are people that you could know. These are people who are so accessible. This is like the real populism. This is not the phony populism of multimillionaires pretending to be, a man of the people.
And this is the history of the day right here.
Yeah, she's a little ways. Probably about 34 seconds.
Senator Vice President Harris has been a guest on all of our programs. I think one of the things that stands out, and I've watched all of you interview her, I've interviewed her, is that she does the humanity thing that the president does. I interviewed her at the beginning of the pandemic, and we talked about what we were binging. She was watching that weird tiger thing, which I watched and had nightmares about snakes. And then she said something that at the time struck me, but it turned out to be so profound. She said, you know, because of the pandemic, everyone's home. I don't text anymore. I call everyone. And this theme of reconnecting, of cracking ourselves open and feeling everything we've lost and everything we stand to gain this year is, I think, one of these bonds, one of these things that hold and knit these two politicians, now our president and vice president, together.
And a glass ceiling shatters in this moment. A woman elected to national office for the first time in our history. Here it is. Vice President Kamala Harris.
Yep.
Mr. President, how are you? I'm well. What is your message to the world? Unity. Hey, you guys, we're gonna let him cross. The pool, move to the side, please. We're gonna let the president cross. Pool, can you hold, please? He's gonna turn around.
I'm just trying to get over.